This is sweet. What? This is sweet. Yeah. What? Acting like we ain't the ones, man. Talk is cheap. Yeah. This is sweet. Yeah. This is sweet. Yeah. We ain't playing no games. We playing for keeps. Yeah. It's sweet. It's my time. I know Patty Philippe. They was yapping. I don't hear a beat. Yeah, I stepped through that spot. I don't creep. Yeah, we know none of that.
There we go. All right. Finally, after a few technical difficulties, here we are starting the show. First live edition of the Gumball Sports Machine. And good morning and welcome into the first live edition, visual edition of the Gumball Sports Machine. I am Jamal Gumo, aka Gumball. Welcome to my show, and I appreciate the people who are tuned in this morning. I know it's a little different this time, so I appreciate y'all tuning in for sure. But first visual edition, I'm excited. I've been trying to get this working for a little bit now. I hope everything sounds good. I got good show today. Great show today. A lot of good stuff. Busy show today. Obviously Bill Belichick retiring, Nick Saban, things like that. It's a lot. Football season just ended. Playoffs are starting. And of course, you guys see the title, special guest. Special guest. And they'll be with us hopefully in about 10 or 15 minutes. So they'll hop on with me and come talk some sports with me. But to start off the show, I want to talk about. Sorry, I just want to make sure you guys can see that. Oh my goodness. Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns, now lately, they have not played very well. No, they have not played they just got blown out by the Clippers. They beat the Heat. They beat the Heat up pretty well. They beat them up pretty well. They've lost some crazy games. They lost a game to the Trailblazers. They lost a game to a really bad one to the Mavericks. Let alone they're no KD. So yeah, but you can't give up 50 to Luka. You can't give up 50 to Jalen Brunson, excuse me. You're giving up all these points to, yes, star players, but these star players, somebody on this team has to buck up. They have to buck up, right? They have to buck up and say, this is my house. You are not scoring 50. I don't care if it's Devin Booker. I don't care if it's Kevin Durant. I don't care if it's Bradley Beal. I don't care if it's Grayson Allen. I don't care if it's Bobo. But you cannot allow somebody back-to-back weeks. It wasn't back-to-back games, but it was back-to-back weeks. Jalen Brunson came in here, dropped 50. Next week on Christmas Day, Luka wants to come in here and drop 50. And it's not like they're getting 50 points on 40 shots. It's an efficient 50 points. It just cannot happen. That cannot happen. But last night, Bradley Beal went off. He had his breakout game as a Phoenix Sun. As a Phoenix Sun, obviously in Washington, he was a star, and that's why the Suns traded for him. As a Sun, he had his best career game as a Phoenix Sun. In LA last night, the Suns beat the Lakers 127-109. And a game that really wasn't even that close. I mean, that game was pretty much over by halftime. And in the third quarter, the Lakers attempted to make a run. They, at one point, D'Lo started getting hot. So that started worrying me a little bit. He started getting hot. They started getting easy transition layups. So that started to worry me a little bit. And the fourth quarter woes have been awful. KD has been horrific in the fourth quarter. Bradley Beal has been horrific in the fourth quarter. So this team has not been a very good basketball team in the fourth quarter. But last night they built up a big enough lead to really just kind of coast in the fourth quarter. I don't think Devin Booker touched the floor in the fourth quarter. Obviously the Lakers guys didn't. AD, LeBron, they didn't touch the floor in the fourth quarter because I think they just packed it in. I think they just packed it in. So they didn't touch the floor in the fourth quarter. So some bench guys got some run. Skylar Mays, I believe, is his name. He had ended up with 12 points. Max Christie ended up with 14 points. So the bench got some run. The bench got some run. But I really want to talk about Bradley Beal. I mean, Bradley Beal looked like Bradley Beal last night. He looked like the all-star guard, Bradley Beal. He looked fantastic last night, getting his shot, hitting his three. He went 8 for 10 from the three. He went 8 for 10 from three. So I think, and I keep telling people, come March, if they're still struggling, we have a problem. We have a problem. But in March, this team should be, I mean, top of the, maybe not even top of the Western Conference standings, but they should be one of the best basketball teams after the All-Star break going into the playoffs. Being able to build that chemistry, know who's going to take the shot, when they're going to take the shot. And that's the thing. That's the thing. When you have three of the best scorers in the NBA, three of the best scorers in the NBA, it's going to be hard to, okay, last second shot, down by one. Who's going to take that shot? Is it going to be Kevin Durant? Is it going to be Bradley Beal? Is it going to be Devin Booker? They don't have that sorted out right now. They don't. But come March, they'll absolutely have that figured out. They'll absolutely have that figured out. And so March comes, they get hot. April, May, first round, second round of the playoffs, they'll be good. They'll be good. This is a professional basketball team. It's not like these are young stars. These aren't young stars, right? These guys are established. They have a name in this league. They have accolades, first team All NBAs, MVP candidacies, right? MVPs for Kevin Durant, or one MVP for Kevin Durant. So these guys, they're accomplished. They're accomplished. It's not like they're 24, 25 trying to, build up their ranks. No, they know what they're doing. They've won at a high level, all on their own, never together, but all on their own. They've won at a high level. So that's why I'm not worried about this team. Defensively, I'm a little worried. Like I said, somebody has to buck up and say, look, Jalen Brunson, no. No. He has 25 in the first half? No. He won't get to 35. He won't get to 35. That's what you have to do as a superstar. As a superstar, you should want to be able to shut the other guy down. Shut the other guy down. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. You know what? I think our special guest is getting ready to join. Let me just find. Hey man, look. Hey, this is my first time, y'all. You might have to stick with me for a little bit. A little bit. Is he coming on right now with us? Let me see here. And they're gonna come on, talk some hoops, talk some playoff football. You know what I'm saying? We make sure that they can get in. Wow. All right. Well, hey, somebody kick that person in the chat, bro. Where are they at? Let me see here. How is my bad, y'all. Why is it not letting me add him? Let's see. I'm gonna get him in here right now, y'all. I'm gonna get him in here right now. Well, while we wait for him, like I said, the Suns are one of the at their peak. At their peak, the Suns will be one of the top three teams in the West. Maybe not record wise. Maybe not record wise. The Suns will be a top three team in the West come March, come April, come the end of the season. They will be. I have no worries saying that. No worries at all. I have full confidence. I have full confidence the Suns will be a top three team in the West. Because these teams that right now, there's OKC, there's Minnesota. Those are good teams. Those are very good teams. I just don't think those are teams that are ready to win right now. Right now. Anthony Edwards, you give him 1 or 2 more years, he'll be an MVP candidate. SGA is one of the best players in this league right now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but his supporting cast is not ready. His supporting cast, yes, you have Chet Holmgren, right? Jalen Williams. But like I was talking about earlier, how Bradley Beal and KD and Booker, those are not young guys. Those are young guys. Those are young guys trying to find a way, find a rhythm within this league to really build up a reputation, build up confidence, and build up that experience to be able to go into the playoffs and play well and play at a very high level. You understand what I'm saying? Because now I will say the Suns, when the first year they went to the playoffs in 10 years, they went to the finals. Did they have Chris Paul? Of course they did. Right? That Thunder team doesn't really have any veterans that have been there and done it. Like I said, SGA, fantastic player. Has he been there? Has he done it? He hasn't. He hasn't. Right? Chet Holmgren, his rookie year, right? He got hurt last year in what was oh uh-oh. Is that him?
Who's
There he
this?
is. Big Kev.
Yes, sir.
Our
Yes,
special
sir.
guest has joined.
I'm here.
Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on. I can't hear you. Are you muted?
No.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hold on. Try and talk again. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Are you muted?
I'm not muted now.
But you can hear me?
Yeah.
I cannot hear you.
You hear me now?
Hold on real quick. Man, what the? Why can't I hear you? What is going on? Hey, go ahead, try it again.
Can you
Say
hear me
something
now?
now.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hold on now. Hold on. Let me try something real quick. Hold on now. Hold on. Let me try something real quick. All right, go ahead and talk, Kevin.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hold on. Let me try something real quick. Try again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now.
All right, bet.
There
All right,
he
go ahead,
is.
talk,
All right,
Kevin.
bet.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, let me do this real quick. Hold on. Let me try something real quick. Try again.
Can you hear me?
All right, I got you. Kev, what's going on, bro?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Man, nothing much, bro. Kevin, welcome to the show, brother.
You
Hey,
don't
man,
you don't mind
listen. Huh?
you don't mind me? I'm just gonna apply some hair product on, but I'm still in the call.
Nah, you good. You good.
All right.
I was just talking. Well, first, hey, go ahead for all the people that's gonna see this in the future, and are the couple people that are watching right now, bro. Hey, 30-second like elevator pitch, bro. Introduce yourself. What you got going on, bro?
So my name's Kev. I'm one of Jamal's good friends.
Yes, sir.
I've been in the podcast with him before. And then I'm also calling games with him at high school for basketball games. We got one tonight as well, back at Boulder Creek against O'Connor. So tune into that one. Starts around 7. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm Jamal. Like all y'all know, Jamal is a big sports fan. I'm probably not as knowledgeable as Jamal himself. I try to keep up with him, but he just knows so much more. He just has so much more knowledge. But I know quite a bit. But yeah, I'm just I'm Kev. That's my name. But yeah, I'm just excited, and I'm just very thrilled to be here with Jamal.
Yeah, man. Hey, bro. Appreciate you coming on, bro. Appreciate you coming on. Yes, tonight, Epic Sports Network on YouTube. Epic Sports Network on YouTube. It will be Sandra Day O'Connor at Boulder Creek tonight, 7 p.m. Tune in tonight. Tonight, January 12th. What's the date today, right? January 12th. Tune in tonight. But,
Yeah.
yeah, man, to get you caught up, we were talking about the Suns win last night against the Lakers team who's not playing well at all. Right? They did come into this game having won 2 in a row, one against the Clippers and one against the Raptors, and that one against the Raptors we'll get into a little later. But I was telling the people, the Suns, they're building right now, right? They're building chemistry. They're learning how to play with each other, right? Come March, I think they'll be one of the top 3 teams in the West. But right now, and how good Bradley Beal has been starting to look and has starting to impact this team, that's what what we saw last night is almost a starter, almost like a appetizer of what this team could possibly be. So, what teams in the West do you really think are real contenders?
Well, as of right now, no disrespect to Phoenix, but I don't have them as contenders just yet. Because like you said, they're still playing, like they're still gelling well together. So they gotta build that chemistry up. So as of right now, they're a playoff team, but I don't think they're top three just yet. They could be top five, like fringe top five, but as of right now, the two contenders that I have from the start, from the get go, is I have the Nuggets and the Clippers as the two contenders right now. Um, Denver, Denver being Denver, they won last year. You got respect to that. And with the Clippers, they're hot right now. They've been going on a little streak lately. They have a super team, and it's working out so far. But we'll see come playoff time. We'll see. Barring injuries, if any player gets hurt, God forbid they don't. But Clippers being Clippers, they always seem to get hurt around playoff time.
I will definitely say the Clippers are a team I'm worried about. When it comes to the Suns, when it comes to that is definitely a team I'm worried about. For whatever reason, they always just play us amazing. They always, whenever they play against us, they don't want to miss, right? They play fantastic defense, and then they go out and put up a stinker against the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
So the Clippers team I'm definitely worried about, and I'm saying uh, that they play well against the Suns, but that's a very good team. I mean, that team won I think nine in a row, I believe, not too long ago. So that's a
They were
very
mi-
good basketball team.
they were missing a playmaker from like Harden because they already had the pieces to have a great team. They have, in my opinion, maybe the best wing duo. You can make an argument with Brown and Tatum, with over on the East,
Right.
but the Clippers they have an amazing wing duo, and then to add on Harden to that team that needs a playmaker like Harden, I think is just perfect. Like if they can stay healthy and gel the whole entire season going into playoffs, that might be the team that I could even have them over Denver. To be honest.
Clippers. The Clippers over
Yeah.
Denver.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They're
Okay.
looking like a scary team right now.
Right. Okay. That team, I don't know if I would put them. I don't know if I would put them over Denver right now,
Uh-huh.
but oh man, that's tough, man. I mean, that's a good basketball team over there. Um, I think the best team in the West right now, I think, is Denver, just because of how good Nikola Jokic is and the impact that he can have on a basketball team.
Uh-huh.
But oh man,
It's very close. It's a tough call.
it's
I think
very close.
I think with both conferences, the East is very top heavy and the West is like from one all the way down to like even 10 or even eight. Like almost every team is like contenders. And to a certain extent, because you have like the heavy favorites in the West, but then everywhere else, like the six other teams in the West, you can make a strong argument that they can be very strong playoff teams as compared to the East, where it's like top five only.
Oh yeah, East is extremely top heavy. I mean, there's really say what, three contenders in the East, four maybe. Milwaukee,
Yeah,
Boston, Philly, and I mean,
you can never count out Miami too with Coach Spo over there. Like you never know what he can cook up in the playoffs.
oh yeah, no, you beat me to it. Like you can throw Miami in there if you want. Um, but apparently Jimmy Butler just doesn't play in the regular season. He just never plays. Um, you can throw
You can
I
throw my Cavs in there, but last year it was a stinker. But hopefully this year everyone stays healthy and we can make a better run.
oh yeah. I mean the Cavs, they have tools to really make a run in the East. I mean, they have two star guards that play at a high level, play at an all-star level. Like they have guys who can really come together and make a run. That's just come playoff time or if they're going to perform. Donovan Mitchell has never performed well in the playoffs, whether it was in Utah, whether it was last year in Cleveland. They have never. He's never really performed in the playoffs, right?
Uh-huh.
Darius Garland, he kind of did his thing last year. Like he was okay in the playoffs against New York, right?
Yeah.
Not enough. I mean, he wasn't better than Jalen Brunson. He wasn't better than Julius Randle. So though they have guys who can step up and make plays in the playoffs to advance. It's just if whether they do or not.
Uh-huh.
So, let's talk about your Cavs while we're on it. Let's talk about the Cavs. Cavs, they're fifth in the West. Their record is 23-12.
I believe we're 22 and 15.
22-15.
Yeah.
So they're playing well without Darius Garland, without Evan Mobley.
And yeah.
So they're playing well with these guys. How far, a healthy Cavs team, how far could you see this Cavs team going?
Realistically, I think we might have a better chance than last year because this offseason we made moves to get shooters like Max Strus, Niang, and then this year we have a bunch of younger guys. I believe his name is Sam Merrill. He's a very good shooter, and then we also got guys like Craig Porter, who's an excellent combo guard off the bench for us. And
Right.
you never know because Imani Bates, we also drafted too, who's in the G League, but you never know when we could activate him and call him up into to the main roster. So I think with Garland and Mobley getting hurt, it gives guys the role players to give opportunities and give them lots of meaningful minutes. Because come playoff time, you need a very good bench, a good depth overall for the team in order to make a long run. You saw how Denver was last year with Christian Brown and those role players like Bruce Brown, like all those guys. They stepped up in the playoffs when you need them the most. So guys like Max Strus and all those role players, like they're getting meaningful minutes right now. So even Karis LeVert, he's playing very well right now. So I think right now we're just building that chemistry up with those role players and those guys that are not technically stars, but they can impact the game in so many different ways, while Garland and Mobley are both out right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, when you go into the playoffs, you have to have depth.
Yeah.
You have to have depth. Because when those stars, obviously the playoffs are built around stars, right? If you
Yeah.
have the stars and they perform at a high level, there's a pretty good chance you're going to do well.
Hmm.
Pretty good chance you're going to do well. It's just when those stars go to the bench, do you have guys who could come in and not really drop off as much, right?
Yeah.
When you have guys like Isaac Okoro, Karis LeVert, those guys, if they could come in and produce, Karis LeVert has been playing pretty okay since Darius Garland has gone out. He's had a
Yeah.
few good games. He's had a few 30 balls in there. But if you have and they don't even have to play very long. They don't have to play very long. They play for a few minutes, right? Donovan Mitchell goes to the bench, gets his 5 minutes of rest. Darius Garland goes to the bench, gets his 5 minutes of rest, and then they come back in. If they can hold their ground within those 5 minutes, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. But that's the thing, they have to hold their ground because basketball is what? Basketball is a game of runs. It's a game of runs. And you can go on a 15-0 run in 5 minutes easily.
Yeah.
Easily. So it's whether or not they can come in and really hold it down for the starters while they go to the bench.
I think it's a deeper team than last year for sure. Because last year we saw against the Knicks, they struggled when it came to bench production. Because New York, especially with their bigs too, Robinson and Randall, they
Yep.
outplayed our bigs, and I think this last season, going to the season, Mobley City, he bulked up with his weight, and Allen right now he's playing phenomenal basketball. With Mobley out, it's making Allen become the only anchor on that defense. He's playing amazing basketball right now. Like he's putting up very good
He's
numbers,
playing
and he's
very,
playing
very good
very good
basketball.
defense. So I think this upcoming year, I mean this season and this upcoming playoffs, it might be a different look, especially with the role players playing very well. And because last year we lacked 3-point shooting in the playoffs, and adding guys like Max, Truce, George, Niang, those guys that they don't have to do much. Just go out there, play, somewhat average defense, and shoot 2 or 3 threes a game. That's perfect coming off the bench or playing alongside Mobley and Garland and Mitchell and Allen.
All right, so check this out. Jesse's watching, right? Jesse, everybody, who his team is.
I think everyone knows who his team is.
He's got Giannis in the Bucks. No comment. But he has who's the top 3 teams in the East in order.
You want me to name them?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Top 3.
Top 3.
Even though they got I can cuss on here or no?
Huh?
Can I cuss on here or no?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Even though they got shit on last night by Milwaukee, I still got Boston as the number 1 team in the East.
Okay.
Because it's just one game,
Right.
you can always bounce back from one bad game. And then I'll give credit to where credit's due. They do have Giannis, and then now they have Dame on over in Milwaukee, so I have them at number 2. And then the number 3 spot, it's a very close 3 spot, but I'll give it to Philly. Embiid, he has been playing the last couple games, but he's been playing phenomenal basketball. I think he's even playing even better than last year when he won MVP. And then Tyrese Maxey, he's starting to become one of the top tier guards in the league, playing alongside Joel. And Tobias Harris is playing amazing basketball right now, and even Paul Reed. Not many people know about Paul Reed, but he's an amazing rim protector and he's an amazing rebounder. And so they have a very good team in Philly, but for some reason every year Philly they always seem to disappoint in the playoffs. So hopefully it's a different run this year, but those are my top 3 from 1 all the way down to 3 with those 3 teams.
Okay, I think I'm with you. I think you and I got the same top 3. I think I'll go Celtics, Bucks, Sixers, just because for whatever reason Damian Lillard has been extremely inconsistent this year.
Yeah.
He's been extremely inconsistent. I mean, he'll have 40 points one game, and in the next 2 games he'll have 21
like 10 points,
21 points on 20
15.
shots. Yeah, it's 12 points. It's so if he gets more consistent, that team will be so much scarier. So much scarier. And let me tell you, I don't believe at all in Chris Middleton. I don't believe at all in Chris Middleton. I'm being so honest. I'm being so honest. I don't believe at all in Chris Middleton. For him to show up in the playoffs, I'm good. I'm good. I don't have to worry about Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know my 3rd star is gonna outplay him. Right? Giannis is one of the top 3 best players in the world. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
Right? Dame, if he stays inconsistent, that's trouble. That is trouble for Milwaukee. They need to get that figured out. But I know that my 3rd star is going to play better than Chris Middleton on any given night.
Yeah.
So that is one guy I'm not worried about. Right? Celtics, they are very well-rounded in their starting unit. They have guys who can score. They have guys who can defend. And they have guys who can shoot. Right? Those 3 things in the playoffs, that will win you a championship. That will win you a championship. Shooting, right? The Nuggets last year, they had shooting, right? They had Jamal Murray. They had KCP, right? They had Michael Porter Jr. They had guys who
Bruce Brown,
right? Bruce Brown, a guy who can defend, right? And then obviously they had their stars in Nikola Jokic as well as Jamal Murray, as I already mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then, like I said, they have guys who can defend. KCP can defend. Michael Porter Jr. can't guard me. That's all. He's awful defensively.
But offensively, he can get you buckets offensively though.
Oh, he can get you 25, 30.
Yeah.
But is he going to get it on 15 shots or is he going to get it on 20, 25 shots?
Yeah.
Right? So, and he's going to put it up. He's going to put it up. So, that's how you win games. That is how you win basketball games, right? Shooting, defending, and your stars. That is how every team wins basketball games. So, And I got the same list as you. I got Boston, I got Milwaukee, I got 76. I think Joel Embiid is the best basketball player in the world right now. He's averaging 30, 35, 12, and 4, along with
And
two
I,
walks.
I think for a while too before he went down with his injury, he was averaging like 30 and 10 for like was it 12, 15
I think,
games in a
oh,
row?
yeah. They had some crazy streak like that going. So I think Joel Embiid is the best player in the world right now. So, and I think Tyrese Maxey's amazing. I think he's one of the best guards in this league. It's just again supporting cast. Do you have guys who can defend? You have guys who can shoot, right? Tobias Harris is one of those guys who you don't really have to believe in. He's another Chris Middleton,
Hmm.
right? He's on any given night, he can go for 20 or he can have 7 points on 11
Yeah.
shots, right? And he's not gonna defend anybody. He's not the best defender in the world.
Hmm.
He's not gonna he's not gonna sit down in the chair and lock up your best player. So I Philly, if they can get right, then I really like Paul Reed as a rim protector and a screener I'm with you. I really like Paul Reed when it comes to that, the intangibles. But are your guys gonna show up when they need to,
Yeah.
right? In the big moments. So Jesse said, how do you guys feel about the Warriors? What's Obviously you see everything going on with them with Draymond and then how awful Clay has been this year, how awful Andrew Wiggins have been this year.
The thing is, I'll see with Clay is he's shown flashes of his old self, but he's been very super inconsistent this year.
Very, yeah, very inconsistent. So where do you see them making the playoffs? Do you see them making the play in? Do they make it out of the play in? What right now, as it stands right now, where do you see the Warriors falling at the end of the season?
Where they right now? They're like 11th or 12th right now in the standings.
I believe, let me double check. They should be 11th or 12th. I don't even know if they're in the play-in.
No, I don't think they're top 10 right now.
I doubt it. I doubt it. They are, where are they at?
Did you tell me the
They're
13th
12.
out last year? Okay, I was okay. So
12.
12. They still got time. They do have the best shooter of all time still.
Yeah.
Hands down to Steph. He's an amazing basketball player. Um, it's just the players around him. This is not like when they won it back in 2022, right? 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is not like that team where that team, Wiggins stepped up that year. Draymond was looking like, he's one of the best defenders that year. Arguably top three defender. And then you have Kevon Looney, who was an amazing rim protector that year. You know, like like Wiggins, that year he was playing phenomenal basketball. He was an all-star, if I'm not mistaken, that year. Um, but yeah, like that team that year is not like how it is this year. This year, because that team, they also had Jordan Poole too. People are already, almost forgetting about Jordan Poole, but that year he was amazing for them in the playoffs. But they don't have that type of production and and help after Steph this year, and maybe it is the downfall of Golden State. Maybe Steph, maybe what if Steph gets frustrated? I talked to you about it, and then you're like, "There's no way he's leaving," but you never know if both him and the team, they part ways because of how horrible they're looking. The Golden State Warriors are looking. Um, but like I said, you still have a long time to go before playoff time. Um, do I think they can make it to the play-in? I say yes, but top six, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think so either. And you mentioned it. We did have a conversation about Steph leaving and Steph staying. Personally, I don't think there's any way Steph leaves this team. I think this team means too much to him and he means too much to the team.
Hmm.
But if they were to part ways, I think it would be in the offseason. I don't think there's any way that they would trade Steph during the season.
I believe he has a no trade clause, right? Or does he not?
I do believe he has a no trade clause. I do believe so he'd have to waive that, and then they'd have to trade him to a team he wants to go to. because in order to waive the no trade clause, he has to sign off on it.
Yeah.
And so they tell him, okay, hey, we're trading you to the Clippers, right? Or the Nuggets,
God,
just one of those teams.
God forbid he goes to the Lakers. Oh
Oh
my
my God. See, I was trying to avoid them. I don't want to see LeBron and Steph together. Oh my no.
LeBron and Steph, AD together.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I really don't want to see that. But say he goes to the Lakers, right? Okay, I'll waive it, right? Oh, they're gonna trade him to the Spurs. No, he's not gonna waive it to go to the Spurs. So so as the Warriors front office, you're gonna have to trade him somewhere he wants. So you might get less than what you want originally for him because they know that your back is against the wall. I mean, you'll still get a good haul. That is Steph Curry at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you're still gonna get a good haul for him. But it's yeah, I just don't I don't see him leaving. And I don't see this team doing anything also at the same time. I mean, maybe Clay can get hot. Maybe they make some moves at the deadline that could help them really take off. Um, but I don't really see this team. This team is not put together well. Right?
I
It's
think
not this
after
team is not put together very well.
I think after this season, they should go into rebuild mode.
I think so too. I think so.
And they
So if he does leave, it'll probably be this offseason.
And the reason why I say rebuild is because they have young stars, like not stars, but they have young guys that can play well from like what's his name, Brandon Pajemski.
Yeah, Burnham, yeah. That's
And
he plays hard, man. He
yeah,
plays hard.
and then there's also what's his name, Trace Jackson. He's a power
Trey
forward.
Jackson, yeah, Trey Jackson Davis.
Yeah, so he's
Yep.
also playing good basketball too. And then Kuminga did make it known like he wasn't getting enough PT, but I like Kuminga as well as a player. So they have guys that are young and I won't say contend for a title, but they have guys where they can build, and restart, rebuild, and move on from veterans like Wiggins, Looney, Steph, Clay. Like you give up those guys, those veterans for future draft picks. Where you know how OKC did it back when they traded away Paul George to the
Right.
Clippers.
Yep. Here
Look
we
at them
go.
now, like they're looking like a very young, up and rising, good team building around Shea. And I think that's what Golden State should do. They should go that same route where OKC gave up, every single player for draft picks, and now they drafted well. They Chet, J Dubs, they drafted well, and now in the next 3 years, maybe 2 or 3 years, they could contend for a title run.
And that's the thing. They'll get at least they'll get for 4 first round picks easily.
Yeah,
They'll get for whoever they trade them to. Whoever if they were to trade Steph, they will get 4 first round picks, and that'll be like you said a Kickstarter for a rebuild, right? So if they do need to they either need to rebuild or they need to do some reconstructing, some serious reconstructing in order for this team to really be a contender. But real quick, before because I want to get into some football. Obviously, football season's over, playoffs, but I do want to get to this really quick. Jesse said again. He said, "Do you think Wemby will be a bust?"
as of right now, no. As of right now, he's playing amazing basketball. Because as a rookie, you will have your ups and downs, but as of right now, I see more ups with Wemby than downs with Wemby. What's he averaging like what 4 blocks, 5 blocks a game? Like,
Yeah, it's something crazy like that. Yeah.
and not to mention he's averaging like what 19 points per game if I'm not mistaken, or is it a little lower than that?
He's leading the rookies. He's leading all rookies in points per game, and I believe rebounds per game as well. Yeah.
Just against the Pistons, I believe he had what, a triple double against them.
Yep. He just had 16, 12, and 10, I believe. His first
Yeah.
triple double. Yeah. So
So I mean, if that's what we're gonna see, from as of right now, I can't imagine what he's gonna be like. When he adds on, a little more muscle, a little more weight, to where he's not. Because the thing is with Wemby, he's not as big, but the thing is that people mistaken him for not playing physical. He plays very physical.
oh yeah, very physical. Yeah, and here's the thing with Wemby. Like you said, he's still a rookie, right? So it's gonna take some time for him to actually
Develop.
build and develop. Exactly. In my opinion, I think he'll be an MVP within the next 5 years. 5 years. I think give him 5 years, he'll be an MVP. I fully believe that. He's so skilled at that height and to dribble that, like to handle the ball that well, and to see the floor as well as he does. And then for him to be that good defensively, obviously he's 7'5", but when it comes to shot blocking, you still have to time it, right? There's still timing when it comes to blocking. There's still, because if you don't time it well, it's going to be a foul, right? And you don't get the block for fouls, right? So, and his timing, and I think with Greg Popovich really being able to develop him, I think he'll be good. I think he'll be actually. I think he'll be really, really good. So
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question.
uh
So you know how Pop has developed amazing players, right?
right,
You know, he's coached amazing bigs like Dave Robinson, Tim Duncan, you know, a bunch of Hall of Famers, right?
yep,
Do you think Wemby will be better than Tim Duncan?
yeah, I do.
Is it
I
because
think when it's all
of
said
his
and done, Wemby will
stature?
be, huh?
Is it because of Wemby's stature where, you know, because Tim Duncan, he was 6'11", but he had like a long wingspan too.
He did, but I think Wemby's skill set, his ability to shoot the three ball,
Offensively, where he can dribble and shoot the three ball, it you know, it's already above Tim.
yeah.
But defensively, Tim wasn't that far off defensively, you know, because he was an amazing defender back in his days. But you know, I could see Wemby maybe being better than Tim Duncan.
Oh, I can absolutely see that. I can absolutely see. Well, one, I think Wemby will definitely have his jersey retired in San Antonio. Um, if they build correctly around him, I think they can win a championship. I think they can definitely win a
You,
championship
do you
in San
know
Antonio.
what my friend at work told me?
Hmm.
If Atlanta breaks up that team, he wants to see Trey and Wemby together.
That'd be interesting. That I think that could go very well together. I think they would go very well together. Like or like somebody along the lines, maybe a Tyrese Halliburton, right? Tyrese Hallie and Wemby, right? Somebody along the lines of a true point guard to play with Wemby. And because he's playing with, Trey Jones. I mean,
He's actually playing with Jeremy Sohan at point guard.
yeah, Jeremy Sohan. Devin Vassell doesn't. Devin Vassell is another version of MPJ. He's not going to pass the ball, but he's going to put up 30 shots a game.
Devin Vassell's actually playing very well basketball this year, though.
He's
Like
playing very good. He's playing very
uh-huh.
good basketball this year. But that's the thing. He puts up a lot of shots. So, and that's not really that's not the type of player you want to put Wemby with, right? You don't want to put Wemby with the guy who's going to put up 30 or 25, 30 shots a game,
Hmm.
right? Because you want to be able to get Wemby his shots, get him right, right? And then also have somebody who's going to set him up. Because obviously, Wemby can play on the ball. He can play on the ball. But if you have somebody to set him up, right? Get him a mismatch, get him a lob at the rim, right? That's really what's going to take off his career. So I think Wemby's going to be very good. I think he'll get his jersey retired by San Antonio if they build around him correctly, the way that they should. I think they can win a championship there. So I think he's going to be very good. But I do want to get to this. One of the biggest news stories of the week. Your team, the New England Patriots, part ways with Bill Belichick. And he spoke the other day about it. And it was he said some interesting things. He said some really interesting things, but this is and I'm gonna play it for you right now. Let me know if you can hear it. This is one of the more interesting things he said.
Take a look at everything, both the current situation, current year, and if there's a trend or whatever we feel like we can do collectively as an organization. Again, it's the same thing we've always done, just organizationally figure out where we're going, what's our best path to get there, and look at the previous results, which obviously this year weren't very good, and to chart a course to into the future.
See, now he said that before they parted ways with him.
Uh-huh.
Right? He said that before that. Was it the right decision to part ways with Bill Belichick? And now that they've gone and hired Gerard Mayo, what's the future look like for the Patriots?
I think what Belichick realized is his play style is not, it's not early 2000s, 2010s no more. The way the football style, like the way the style of football has transformed into is more of offense oriented now. And Belichick, him being defensive minded, he's gonna go down as arguably one of the best defensive coaches and arguably one of the best coaches of all time. But his philosophy on the game of football, it has changed throughout because teams have and coaches have started to figure out how he plays and
Right.
how he coaches. So it's like you can only stay at the top for so long before someone else takes that away from you. And his time as a coach, sadly, it has come. He had to step down. And I think we might see him back in the organization. I'm not sure as a head coach, as a DC, or as one of the not coaching staff, but like maybe GM, maybe front office position. Um, like what Pete Carroll's doing with Seattle, like he's stepping down as a coach, but I believe he did say he's still with the organization, right?
Yeah, Pete Carroll's he's taking on an advisory role.
Yeah, kind
Is
of like
what
what Bruce Arians did with Tampa Bay, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so maybe Belichick does, take that position and that's what he moves into. But as a coach, I think it's a he's already reached 300 wins. Not many coaches have even sniffed close to 300 wins. And to get 6 Super Bowl wins, he has the accolades and he's going to go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time, but I think his time has come. I think the fans of New England, including myself, we want to see like a change of scenery. I mean, the last couple of years, ever since Brady left us back in 18, I believe, 18 or 19.
Yeah,
I,
it was going into the 1920 season.
yeah, so 19. So yeah, ever since he left, um, I was kind of wanting to see how it was gonna pan out without Tom, but it has just hasn't been the same. Buffalo has taken that division by storm. Even the Dolphins, they're making noise too. Both teams are in the playoffs this year. And the Jets, if Rodgers didn't go down with his injury, they could have, been another wild card team. They could have won the division. So I think I think heading into the next season, I'm kind of excited to see what Mayo's going to do as a coach because he was amazing for us as a player.
Oh yeah.
So I want to see how he does as a coach, and I've seen the feedback from fans, and this morning when he got hired as the coach, he's received good and positive reviews, and then he's received bad because everyone's saying like good because he's one of Belichick's guys, Mike Variable. I thought they were gonna hire him as the coach, in my honest opinion.
Who my
But
my Gabriel?
yeah, but I like the Mayo as a head coach because he's played the game, and I think he's gonna like transition into like a new era of football for the Patriots. We don't know how he's gonna do yet because he hasn't coached yet. But I think that's what makes it interesting. I think him, having I think he's only been our DC or linebackers coach for 2 years maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, no, he's
So
not too long, not too, but his entire football career he spent with Patriots.
and all of his seasons with the New England, he's been team captain every single year.
Yep.
So and to play that middle linebacker position, he's the captain of that defense. Like defensively, last year before Gonzalez went down and Matt Judon went down, we were looking like a very good defensive team. And so defensively, I'm not worried about our defense. Offensively, I want to see how Mayo constructs, this team offensively, and then that's also gonna head into this upcoming draft. You're probably gonna want to get into that as well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely, definitely. Yeah,
because if Chicago and Washington, both of them do select quarterbacks, that gives us, Harrison Jr. And if we draft him, I'm excited to see how he does. And everyone's saying who's gonna throw him the ball. Uh Mac Jones maybe gone, but I want to see how Bailey Zappi does quarterback, on the full season, because he's shown flashes where he can be an amazing pocket passer, especially in the first half, and then second half he just it just goes to shit. But I want to see how Mayo does, and if we do get the chance to draft someone like a Marvin Harrison Jr., who I'm comparing to Randy Moss already. Um, so I want to see how just Mayo does as a coach. It's a new start. Lots of pressure for Mayo because fans of New England, they demand Super Bowl or bust, that type of mentality ever since Belichick took over. But I'm excited to see how Mayo does as a coach, and as a New England fan, you can only just hope and pray that we're back to being a dynasty again. But I'm excited for the future.
And see, that's the thing with Belichick, is he was so stubborn about adapting and adjusting to modern day offense.
Yeah,
Throwing the ball around the yard. Now, don't get me wrong, he won six Super Bowls. Now, were they with Tom Brady? Yeah, they were with Tom Brady. But his lack of ability to draft offensive guys and sign offensive guys, and how bad they've turned out,
yeah.
is horrendous. I mean, Mac Jones, he had what? He went to the playoffs one year. I mean, he had
His rookie year.
yeah, and then ever since then, he's done nothing. He's been awful. Bailey Zappi, he's had his moments, but he's not a franchise guy.
Inconsistent.
Exactly. He's inconsistent. He's not a franchise guy. He's not a guy you're going to pay $50 million a year.
Yeah.
Right? To go out and win you 13 games a year. So, I'm biased, but as a Cardinals fan, I am very much hoping the Patriots take a quarterback, whether it's Caleb Williams, Drake May,
Or Drake May,
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
So whether it's one of those guys, Michael Penix, if it's one of those guys, and that would be great, obviously, because we have the pick after you guys. And actually, you know what? If you know me, and the more consistently I start to stream and upload on my podcast, you will know how much I love Marvin Harrison Jr.
Especially because he also plays for the Buckeyes.
Exactly. I'm a huge Ohio State Buckeyes fan, right? And when was it? The last game of the season. I believe it was this past Sunday. I work with Arizona Sports, the local radio station here, and I help produce and I produce a lot of the shows that go on there. And I was producing the Cardinals postgame show for the last game of the season. And my brother Mitch Verolis, man, shout out to you. Obviously, I don't know if you're gonna see this, but shout out to you, man. You a real one, bro. And so he was filling for Tim Ring. Tim Ring usually does that show. And Mitch, he knows how much I love Marvin Harrison Jr. So then he kind of let me go off about him on the show. So let me just play that clip really quickly.
I got Jamal behind the glass right now. Big Cardinals fan. Jamal is just like, yeah. Come on,
Cardinals
Jamal.
and Ohio State.
Talk about him. Come on, let's go. You badly want Marvin Harrison Jr., don't you? No. Just talk about it. I'm serious. Crack the mic. Let's go.
Marvin Harrison Jr., I tell everybody this. Marvin Harrison Jr. will be life-changing for this team. To give Kyler Murray, along with Michael Wilson, again, upcoming Trey McBride, the impact that he'll have on this team, he will put this team in contention right away. I 100% believe that.
And everything I said there hasn't changed. Marvin Harrison, whatever team he goes to, I said specifically there, the Cardinals, because he will take that offense to a completely another level with the ability to. I mean, the Cardinals were 4-13, yes, but they had the fourth best rushing offense in the league. Right, they were one of the best rushing offenses in the league, and if you're able to run the ball, and then set that up with throwing to a wide receiver like Marvin Harrison Jr., he will take that offense to a next level. Right? Defensively, the Cardinals have to really, really, really find some guys, find some pieces, and put it together. Right? There's still some pieces, Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, Zaven Collins. So there's still some guys defensively that you can kind of build around, but you need to go and get a corner. You need to go get a corner. You need to go get maybe another inside linebacker, right? So you still need to build around those guys. But Kevin, to your point, Marvin Harrison Jr., dude, he will be a top. I don't even want to put him that high. He'll be a top 10 receiver of all time by when it's said and done. I 100% believe that. Like I said,
barring injury, of course.
Barring injuries, yes, of course. Barring injuries, which, knock on wood, he's been pretty healthy in college.
Until the previous injury he just had.
Aside from the previous injury that, and obviously him sitting out of their bowl game, but that's because he's going to the league. A lot of people do the same thing. But so that's what I'm kind of hoping. Patriots need a quarterback. Jane Daniels just won a Heisman. Drake May is one of the top guys. I think, Caleb Williams also, obviously will probably go number 1
or 2.
Very latest number 2.
Depending if Chicago does draft Harrison Jr. to pair him up with Justin Fields.
Oh man, if they draft Marvin Harrison Jr., actually, I'll tell you what. If they don't trade that pick, I'm gonna be very surprised. I'm gonna be very surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they traded that pick with you guys, because if they trade that pick to New England and fall back to 3, that gives you guys a quarterback, and that gives them a chance to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. So I would not be surprised if they traded back to 3 with you guys.
Because I honestly think Washington will go for a quarterback. I don't think they're going to go for any other position at number 2 besides a quarterback.
No. I mean, you're not going to move on with Sam Howell. He had a whole lot of yards this year, but you're not going to move on with Sam Howell. He's not going to go win you anything. No. Was he good at North Carolina? He was very good in North Carolina. Another school that Drake May is coming out of, but he's not.
That's where I'm like, I don't know if I want New England to draft Drake May, because I'm like, he's good, but the thing is though, like, he's not a playmaker like a Caleb Williams type player.
No,
or even Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, Jane Daniels. He erupted obviously he transferred from ASU to go to LSU. He had his moments at ASU. He beat Justin Herbert, I believe his sophomore year. Right, went out, beat Justin Herbert, kicked Oregon out of the college football playoff, and when probably one of his best games of his career. So I mean, he's had his moments, but then he erupted when he went to LSU. Right, he won the Heisman, threw for over 4,500 yards, rushed for over 1,200 yards, had a bunch of touchdowns. So he erupted this year, and obviously he deserved to win the Heisman. But he won't go number 1. He definitely won't go number 1 over Caleb Williams or Drake May. So. It's tough, and I think Gerard Mayo was gonna really, he's gonna learn on the fly. He's gonna learn on the fly, and he's gonna adjust to the modern day game of football. That's the thing that Bill Belichick has struggled to do within these past 2 years. I 100% believe Gerard Mayo is gonna adjust to the modern day game of football. And are they gonna be competitive next year? I doubt it. The following year, I doubt it. But the year after that, they may make some changes, pick up some people, draft picks, free agency, and really be able to maybe make a move for the AFC East to reclaim their title that they'd had for so long. So, but yeah, so that's, that Marvin Harrison Jr., that's my guy. So I'm so hoping that happens. But Kev, I know you're not a huge college football guy, but if Bill Belichick wasn't the biggest story, this was definitely the biggest story of the week.
And we have breaking news from Chris Lowe at this moment. Nick Saban is retiring. Sources are telling ESPN 6 national championship, the greatest coach of all time. It appears to be over. I repeat that again. According to Chris Lowe of ESPN, Nick Saban has announced to his team that he is stepping down.
So that is Paul Feinbaum on the Paul Feinbaum Show, one of the very, very highly regarded college football analysts, reporting that Nick Saban is done. Nick Saban is done. And, Kevin, I know you're not the biggest college football guy, but I know you know who Nick Saban is. Everybody knows who Nick Saban is, right? You could have watched 5 minutes of college football your entire life. You know who Nick Saban is. So, and he said I believe it was yesterday, it was just with the NIL and with recruiting and how different it is now, he just says it's too much. It's too much. And if you want to come here, if you want to come here, I want you to come here because you want to win and you want to be successful. Nick Saban in his whole career, right? Six SEC titles, 9 national championships. And this is insane to me. 44 first-round picks.
Yeah, I saw
compared
that.
to 29 losses. 29 total losses and in his entire career with Alabama. 29 losses, 44 first-round picks. So this kind of hit me. It kind of hit me different. I grew up watching Alabama and watching them dominate. What's your thoughts on Nick Saban retiring, as well as really the NIL and what it's done to college football?
I think it's changed the culture of college football when it comes to players getting paid. I'm very I'm with it when with them getting paid in today's sports, but I don't know. I think it's just different, and sometimes something different is good, but I don't know. I think maybe Saban has a point, but I also do like it how it is in today's uh world of sports. But no, him leaving the game of football is gonna be very heartbreaking. It's gonna be very different without seeing Saban in the game of college football. But I think it's a change where it needs to happen. Um, Maybe he's trying to make a point by retiring. Um, but no, I don't know. It's just so surprised because I'm so surprised at the fact that he retired because I grew up not watching college football a lot, but his name is one of the most
Iconic.
well-known names in college football.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Coach K is in over at Duke when he stepped down and retired. So it's like it's a big name that leads the game. So I don't know. I'm still trying to get over the fact that Pete Carroll stepped down, Belichick parted ways, and now Saban's also gone. So it's like it's a very big week of big name coaches leaving the game.
And you mentioned Pete Carroll. That's another guy we'll get into here in a few minutes. But and I just saw Jesse. Jesse said 4. He said 4 wins is crazy. That's all right. I think because I mentioned the Cardinals are 4-13, so that's okay. His team and my team will be sitting in the same spot in about a week from now. So we'll both be sitting on the couch watching the games from home. So he's an Eagles fan for anybody who didn't know, but yeah, no, it's changed, man. I mean, I'm all for the players getting paid to play because that's where the money comes. Like they don't go to the games to watch the coaches. I mean, obviously when you see guys like Nick Saban and Dabo Sweeney and guys like that, Coach O, although I don't believe he's coaching a team right now, but when you see guys like that, yeah, you could go see the coaches like that, but you go to college football games to go watch college football. The football players play football. You know what I'm saying? And so when it comes to, I mean, it is a little sad. Um, it is a little sad that it's kind of come to this, and how much the NIL has changed college football. But like I said, I am all for players getting paid. So I may be thinking like, I was hoping the NIL would give them enough to give it just to live well, not have to worry about paying bills. You give the players 150K a year. You can live very comfortably on that. But when you give them $1 million, $2 million, that almost gives them like, oh, I made it. What do I need to keep going for? What do I need to go to the league for? Right? I mean, it almost seems like that's their energy as soon as they get the money. And And you know Shannon Sharp. I love Shannon Sharp, and I watch his show. But he said there's one thing he said that really kind of stuck with me. He said money doesn't change you, and makes you more of what you already are. Right? So if you're hungry, if you're driven and motivated, you're only going to be more motivated and driven after you get the money. But if you're lazy and you're just kind of do the bare minimum, if you get money, you're going to become more lazy.
Yeah.
And you're just going to be the same person. So it's conflicting for me. It's really conflicting, the NIL, but you know, so I don't blame Nick Saban for really because I mean, Alabama was, you know, before the NIL, and Alabama was the team, like the team. You want to go get drafted, you want to go compete for a national championship, you go to Alabama, you go play for Nick Saban. So, and now that that's kind of like that's not really there anymore, it kind of sucks. But it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate what it's turned into, and how just how much college football has really changed. You know, I've been watching college football since I was 7, 8 years old. That's when I first became an Ohio State Buckeyes fan. You know, first college football player I ever watched was Terrell Pryor. That's my favorite college football player ever, Terrell Pryor. You know, the guy, he got drafted by Oakland, you know, and then eventually turned into a wide receiver. But so it's crazy how much has changed from then until now. But that's unfortunately just the way the world works. You know, if I don't know, me, like if I'm in that situation, whether or not I get the money, I still want to go to the league because I want to make sure my family's taken care of. Right? I don't want them to ever have to worry about another bill. That's why I'm doing this. Do I love doing this? Of course I love doing this. There's fewer things better in life than doing what you love and getting paid for it. Obviously, this right here, I'm not getting paid for, not yet at least. But at my other job, I love doing what I do. Right? I go to work and I'm happy. So, like I said, my dad always told me there's very few things in life that are better than doing what you love and getting paid for it. So it's, you know, Nick Saban is legendary. He'll be an icon forever. So it's just kind of disappointing. It's disappointing that he had to come to this and he had to retire so early. But things happen. It's all good. But check this out. You mentioned him earlier, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is done as head coach as the Seahawks. He was told he's moving into an advisory role, and it's funny because when his post game presser after the Seahawks beat the Cardinals, it sounded like he was coming back. He wants to come back. He's not going nowhere. Oh, I'm ready for next year. You know, you thought you guys had me, but then January 10th came around, and this is what he had to say.
That's it for now. And I'm freaking jacked. I'm fired up. I'm not tired. I'm not worn down. You guys tried your best. You didn't wear me out. It's the end of the season. I'm supposed to be, go lay on a cot somewhere. I ain't feeling like that. And, there's what's coming. I don't know. I got no idea. And I really don't care right now. But I do. I'm excited about it because there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to study. There's some great discoveries that are going to come our way. And as my all-time mentor, Bud Grant, said, not in so many words, there's rivers to wade, there's waves to catch, and there's mountains to hike. And it wasn't exactly how Bud said it, but I get it. And that's some cool stuff that we're going to do here. And I look forward to all that.
So, I don't know. And
I don't mean to cut you off, but play Pete Carroll's speech yesterday when he's talking about his family.
Yeah, no, he said some very, very emotional things, but I mean, I don't know. Honestly, to me, Kevin, that sounds like a guy who still wants to coach. And obviously, Seahawks said they parted ways. They said, yeah, we're moving in a different direction. If we're being completely honest, they said we're moving in a different direction, and that direction is not you being the head coach of this team. So, like I said, to me, that sounds like a guy who still wants to coach. But I don't know, Kev, what do you think?
I mean, I think that's the reason why he wanted to move to a front office role. But give me 1 second. I'm gonna join back this. I'll tell you my opinion later, but I need to take this phone call.
All right, you're all good.
All
You're
right.
all good. So that was Kevin. That was my boy Kev. He said he's got to take a phone call really quickly, but PK, I mean, the way he sounds, the way he's talking, that sounds like a guy who still wants to coach. Right? That sounds like a guy who still wants to coach. And rapport with the still the parting ways, the parting ways. His presser after the game on Sunday was, I want to come back and coach. I'm not done. I'm not done. I want to come back and coach. So I mean, man, I don't know. Is he gonna really stick in this advisory role? I don't know. Is he gonna go get a job somewhere else in the other 8 opportunities that head coaches are open? The head coaching spots are open. I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, I don't think he's gonna leave the Seahawks organization. But so I mean, it's tough. It's tough to really tell what Pete Carroll is gonna do. Is if he's gonna retire, if he's just gonna be like, this is it. But it's crazy how many head coaching jobs are open right now. And my team was there last year, right? We were looking for a head coach. We found Jonathan Gannon really late. I think we hired him like a day or two after the Super Bowl. But so I mean, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what he does. But that's another guy that's kind of I've watched a lot. I've watched a lot. Obviously, Super Bowl champion. He's known for blowing one of the biggest calls of all time and not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch and having Russ throw the ball and get picked in the end zone by Malcolm Butler. So he's had his ups and downs with the team. He's been a fantastic coach. He's killed the Cardinals for however long I've been alive. The Cardinals have had their moments against Pete Carroll and the Seahawks, but he's been a fantastic coach. And are we getting Kevin back? Oh, I think we're
Can you
getting
hear me?
Kevin. No, there he is.
You can hear me?
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. But no, I was just saying, it's like that's another guy I've kind of watched for a long time, Pete Carroll. So it's kind of crazy for me to kind of realize that he's not gonna coach the Seahawks anymore because that's all I've kind of seen from him. But and obviously he won his national championship at USC and he's had success in college, but he's been coaching the Seahawks for a long time. He won a Super Bowl, obviously known for blowing one of the biggest calls in Super Bowl and football history by not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch, and having Russ throw the pick in the end zone of Malcolm Butler. But I don't know, he's legendary. I mean, what's your thoughts about Pete Carroll just in general, like, and how his career with Seattle?
I also think he had an amazing career with Seattle, regardless of that controversial call. He did win the Super Bowl the year prior to that. Before that, he's gonna go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time. I wouldn't say he's one of the top coaches of all time, but he's gonna go down as one of the great coaches of all time, and for a good reason. He's I don't think Martin would have became Marshall without Carroll. I don't think Wilson would have became one of the best improvising quarterbacks of all time if it wasn't for Carroll drafting him. Guys like Doug Baldwin, Golden Tate, all those guys in the mid 2010s, like they wouldn't be who they are without Pete Carroll. And I think he has the ability to just make star players become star players. No, no, not players become star players, but role players become good players to the point where they can be amazing players. And I don't know. I think him being an amazing coach to be able to just create these amazing players like the names I just said. I think it's gonna go down to, he's gonna go down to as one of the best coaches of all time. Um, but yeah, I don't discredit him, developing players into star players. Um, but no, that call back in 2014 was a very horrible call.
Yeah,
So,
I can agree.
but I think he'll go down as one of the best coaches of all time. It just sucks to see him leaving the game at that, at this point of his, career. But it's it's pretty bad. He was put in a pretty bad situation because that Seattle team is it's still a good team, but I was confused about that, him stepping down because what you played earlier, the audio you played earlier, it does sound like he was going to come back and play for Seattle. I mean, not play, but coach Seattle.
Right.
So I'm still very confused about that decision by Pete Carroll and the organization of Seattle.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think it was more of a firing than it was of a mutual parting ways. Um, I think Seattle wanted to move in a different direction. I think Pete Carroll has maybe more along the lines with Bill Belichick of him just not really adapting to the modern day game of football. And obviously the Seahawks can fling it. The Geno Smith can throw it around the yard. And when you have guys like DK and Tyler Lockett and guys like that, you're gonna want to throw the ball. Kenneth Walker is a very good running back, but with those guys, I just don't think Seattle thought that he did enough with those guys to really be able to compete. And so they just want to go in a different direction. And there's nothing wrong with that. Pete Carroll, like you said, Pete Carroll was a very good coach. Very good coach. So, and will he be in an advisory role? I mean, that's what they say. We're not going to know if he advises anything or not. We don't even know if he's still going to be with the team. So, but like I said, he's had his moments and he's been a great coach. Sometimes just got to move on. you gotta move on. I mean, when you're in a relationship, it gets stagnant. What happens?
Arguments
Start to argue.
happen.
Exactly. You start to argue, right? You start to argue. Some little stuff start to really agitate you, and then what? Slowly break apart. Slowly break apart.
Yeah.
So, it. Like he had his moments. So, and he'll be doing whatever he wants to do now. And hopefully he spends a lot of time with his wife because his wife and his family. So, because I did see that. That was really special to see how much, she's meant to him. But it was special. It was a special run he had with Seattle. But check this out. The Cardinals, right? I got to get into the Cardinals a little bit. A year ago, right? A year ago, the Cardinals were 4-13. This year, the Cardinals were 4-13. But I will tell you what, Kevin, obviously you live in Arizona. I know you're not a Cardinals fan, but you live in Arizona. You could probably kind of feel the vibe here. The 4-13 last year is not the same as the 4-13 this year, right? 4-13 last year, we were firing our coach. We were firing our GM. Kyler Murray had torn his ACL. We were at that game together, actually. You and I were at that game together in which Kyler Murray tore his ACL. First or second play of the game. And and the organization was going in a completely different way. Now this year, the organization has found everybody they needed. They have certified Kyler as their franchise guy. They have their coach of the future. They have their general manager of the future, and they have picks to back it up. They have 6 picks within the first 3 rounds. 2 in the first round. I don't remember if it's 2 in the second round and 2 in the third, or if it's 3 in the third and 2 in the second. But nevertheless, 6 picks in the first round. I mean, within the first 3 rounds. So the direction. So there's a lot of excitement, at least from me. Being a Cardinals fan. And I want to ask you: should the Cardinals fans be excited about the future, or do you really think there's really nothing to look forward to?
Honestly, you have an amazing point. Because we were at the game last year, and it looked like going to the next season, like even you said yourself, like there was no reason to contend, no reason to even, you know, try. In the upcoming season, which is this season right now, because there was really no future, in my honest opinion, because you weren't, you didn't have guys, because Buda Baker's like what, 27, 28.
I do believe
Um,
he's somewhere around there. And actually, that's another guy we have to re-sign this year.
and then Kyler, you're gonna be sure if you guys are gonna, replace him or not. So everything was just all up in the air, and it didn't look like, you guys had much going on for you guys. Um, but I think this upcoming season that you guys have more to look forward to, especially with the higher draft pick than last year. Um, are you guys gonna get Marvin Harrison Jr.? You don't know yet.
I hope so. I'm praying.
Uh, and I would say, who's the tight end from Georgia? Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers, yeah. That's a bad
Um,
boy.
I was gonna say like you guys maybe could have gone with him, but you did say you guys like knew Trey McBride, so it's very hard as well. Um, but no, you have a point. This upcoming season, I think it's something you guys can look forward to, and you guys have more hope than you guys did go into this season right now last year.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. Well, first of all, Jesse said the Cardinals will be 4-13 again next year. That's all right. You know who's gonna be bad next year is Philly. Watch what I tell you. No, watch what I tell you. They won't be bad, but they won't win the NFC East. I'll tell you that much. But the Cardinals, they have guys to build around, right? Offensively, they still have, obviously Kyler is their franchise guy, a guy who was an MVP candidate at one point in time. James Conner, a guy who rushed for 1,000 yards for the first time in his career this year and ran the air out of the ball. They have our draft pick from last year, Michael Wilson. Who, if he can stay healthy, can be a very productive wide receiver in this league. And Trey McBride, who I believe will be a top 5 tight end by the end of next year, who may be even a Pro Bowl tight end next year, because that's how good and skilled he is. So, and then defensively, like I said, Jalen Thompson, Buda Baker, Zayvon Collins. So you still have guys, BJ Ojolari. You still have guys who you can build around, but they need support. They need help, right? And that's why you have two first round picks, right? If Marvin Harrison Jr. is there at 4, you pick him. Hopefully the Texans lose this week and we have the 21st pick, you go out and take a corner, right? You go, maybe you take an edge rusher if there's really good enough one there, and that's why. And then the other 4 picks you use to build around them that you have in the first 3 rounds. So there's a lot to look forward to, and I really, really like. I think the coordinators, Drew Petzing and Nick Rallis, for this year for the Cardinals did a fantastic job, and those are guys that Jonathan Gannon brought on. Those and the culture here that was built last year. There was no culture. There was no personality. There was no nothing. It was okay. We're here to work, and that's it. Right. This year, those guys went out. They could have been 0-17. They were gonna go out and play as hard as they could for Jonathan Gannon, because they know Jonathan Gannon has his back, has their back as the players.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Because when Cliff was still there, you did say good things about him, right?
I did, yeah.
From what you see with Jonathan Gannon and Cliff Kingsbury, what are the differences you see and the similarities that you see with the both of them?
Honestly, the biggest is the one I just kind of mentioned, is the culture. Is the culture and the vibe in the locker room. And actually, I'm gonna play this clip by Jonathan Gannon on really just the culture that he built. He won't, and that's the thing, he won't give himself credit. He won't give himself credit because that's kind of coach Gannon is. He's the coach that will deflect the credit on a win and take the blame on a loss. Because I just believe that's a great head coach, and that's a great mentality of a head coach. And so this is Jonathan Gannon the other day on the culture that he built, or that's been built within the Cardinals locker room.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, who's ever back here in 2024, they understand what's expected and how we operate. And if they're back here, I feel really comfortable. Myself and Monty and the coaching staff feels really comfortable about their roles, whatever they might be. But I always say, like, the price of admission is team and then you. And if they're back here in 24, they have that.
His biggest thing is there's no I in team. There's no I in team. I remember I was at Cardinals training camp. Zaven Collins told us. He told us he came and he told us he got called out. Right? First day of OTAs. First day of OTAs. He brought eggs into the meeting. And Jonathan Gannon called him out. Because if you're eating eggs, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're focused on the eggs. And so that is the mentality, that's the mindset that he brought to this team. And that team carried the entire season. Now, they were 4-13, yes. But were they in almost every game? There was maybe 1 or 2 games they were not in, which there were blowouts. But they were in every game. They were playing hard every game. And so with that mentality, along with the talent that you can bring, guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. and and how much they have in free agency this year, that can be a dangerous team. I mean, to win Super Bowls, I firmly believe if you can run the ball well and you can defend and you have a good defense, you have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Look at the 2 top seeds right now. San Francisco and Baltimore. Baltimore runs the ball at an extremely high level and has one of the best defenses in the league. Same goes for Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers. Run the ball extremely well and then can also play defense. So if you can play defense and you can run the ball at a very high level, that can easily win you a championship. So
I totally agree with everything you said. Like, Baltimore and San Francisco, like, those are the top 2 powerhouses of their respected conferences. And, the Niners, they have let's be honest, they probably have the best stars on their team.
yeah.
CMC is probably the best running back in the league right now. And then Debo and Ayuk is probably one of the best, duos in the league. Then you also have Kittle, who is still a top 3 tight end. And that defense led by Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, that team is amazing. And I think it all goes down to Shanahan, drafting well and developing well. Like, it all goes down to also coaching as well. Like, how you said, brought up Gannon, who I could also see like similarities with Shanahan. And then over at Baltimore, in my opinion, they're probably the best defense in the league this year. And they run the ball very well. Lamar Jackson, MVP, front runner. And not to mention Keaton Mitchell, who is their running back, who he came into the scene late into the season. He's been playing very well for them. And that defense led by Roquan Smith, another middle linebacker, just like Fred Warner, who is, in my opinion, a top 3 middle linebacker. So, like you said, the top 2 teams right now in their conferences as a number 1 seed, they have a foundation, and it's smart to not copy them, but kind of just relate to what they're doing, and just you can build a successful team, like you said, with good running offense and amazing defense.
And that's the thing. People say it all the time. NFL is a copycat league. It's a copycat league. If I see a play that another team runs and they run it effectively, I'm gonna see if it works for me, but I'm gonna put my own spin on it. Right? So, and another thing about those teams, about Baltimore, about San Francisco, one thing that they have in common is buy-in. All of their players buy into the system. They buy into whatever the coaches are preaching. So they are locked into whatever situation they're in. And Kyler Murray, that's what he started to do. And he said that the other day, and this is what he said.
It's refreshing. Just to have, guys upstairs that, believe in it, and really speak to it and hold everybody accountable. It trickles down, it starts at the top, and I think every, great organization, business understand, it starts at the top, and the guys really believe in what they're, what they're preaching. So I'm very confident in what we got going.
And you can hear in his voice how like he said it, refreshed, how refreshed he is for there to be good high level management at the top, starting with Monty Ossenfort, going down to Jonathan Gannon, and even all the way down to the coordinators, Nick Rallis, Drew Petzing, Jeff Rogers, the special teams coordinator. You can hear it in his voice how confident he is in this team and really being able to succeed, and how bought in he is for this team. So, and you wanna, you really want that in your franchise quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You really want that in your franchise quarterback. For him to be bought in like that, oh man. I mean, there's not a better feeling. I mean, if you can have your guy, oh, how do I even explain it? If you know your quarterback believes in your coach, he's going to play that much harder on the field. He's going to work that much harder. He's going to watch that much more film to make sure that he makes his coach look good. Because his coach believes in him and his GM believes in him, he's going to work that much harder to make sure that he proves them right. And so to have that feeling as a fan, knowing that Kyler Murray believes in what they got going on, oh, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
I agree.
So and Cardinals' future looks very bright. It looks very bright. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do in the draft. I'm excited to see what they do in free agency. So I'm really looking forward to it. But to end off, we had to talk about this. This was hilarious. It wasn't hilarious, but it was wild. So I'm sure you saw it the other day. The Lakers played the Raptors, right?
About what Darko said?
Oh yeah. The Lakers played the Raptors, and in one quarter, 12 minutes, the free throw disparity was Lakers 23, Raptors 2. And the Lakers won this game by 1 point. By 1 point. And then there was another BS call that the referees had called on RJ Barrett after Scotty Barnes hit a three to tie the game. And they called a foul. So before we really let loose on this, Kev, we have to hear what head coach of the Raptors, Darko Rajakovic, said about the referees. And he did get fined $25,000 by the way for saying all this. Came out the other day, he got fined $25K. But this is I have to hear your reaction to this. Here's what he said.
That's outrageous. What happened tonight? This is completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this. 23 free throws for them, and we get 2 free throws in the fourth quarter. Like, how to play the game. I understand respect for all stars and all that, but we have star players on our team as well. How's possible as Scotty Barnes, who is all-star caliber player in this league, he goes every single time to the rim with force, trying to get to the rim without flopping and not trying to get foul calls. He gets 2 free throws for the whole game. How's that possible? You're going to explain that to me. They had to win tonight? If that's the case, just let us know so we don't show up for the game. Just give them a win. But that was not fair tonight. And this is not happening first time for us. Scotty Barnes is going to be all-star. He's going to be the face of this league. And what's happening over here during whole season, I've been calling it back. It's a complete crap.
You're getting any explanations at all? That offensive foul, did you see, get any?
No, there is no explanation. They just come up there, they review and they see what they want to see. They don't want to hear us, what we got to say. They don't want to hear the players. They don't just want to protect us. Over again, they got 36 free throws, 23 free throws in the fourth quarter. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? How are we supposed to play?
This a one-off, or do you feel this has been happening to your team a lot throughout the season?
It's happening a lot. But I'm telling our guys, be professional. Keep fighting. Keep going for the next one. But until when? For how long?
So that was head coach Darko Rajakovic. That was a long clip, but there's so much in there to unpack. And before I even get into it, Jesse said LeBum gave them a smooth 1,000 before the game. Talk about the referees. He gave him a smooth out before the game. And then, he also said, Jesse also said, saying Scotty is going to be the face of the league is crazy. That part I agree with. Scotty Barnes is very good. He may be a face of the league. He won't be the face of the league with guys
He'll be
like
he'll be the face of the Raptors.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be the face of the Raptors, but he won't be the face of the league. With guys like Giannis and Luka and Jokic still in this league, he won't be the face of the league for sure. But like I said, there's a lot to unpack there. What were your thoughts on like what he said and how he said it, and just how passionate he was about them not getting the calls?
Honestly, I'm gonna agree with him on every single thing that he said, besides that Scotty Barnes being face of the league comment. Everything that he said about how might as well just not even show up to the game if they're gonna give him the win. Might as well just give him the win instead of having us show up. He has a point. I mean, 23 free throws compared to 2, that's like something that you can only ever dream of that shit that happened to you. I don't know. It's just I think what he said about them being biased, the refs, I think a part of it is true. I mean, yes, LeBron being LeBron, he's gonna get his calls, but it's to the point where it gets ridiculous, getting that many attempts, at the line, as opposed to, only getting 2 with him saying Barnes has been like driving to the rim, getting contact, falling to the ground, and he gets no calls. I think you gotta be fair to both teams, and you can't just, give calls to one team and then not give calls to the other team. So I totally agree with what he said, and I think it's something that needs to be fixed. And this is coming from a LeBron fan too. I'm not a LeBron hater. I'm a LeBron fan, and even I disagree with the cause that they give to bigger name players. Like names like Luka, even Harden, Embiid as well. Embiid gets a bunch of free throws. So I totally agree with what Coach Darko had to say about what happened the other night. Besides the Scotty Barnes comment, of course, but moving forward, they should definitely look into that and just kind of make it more fair to every other team, not just big name teams like LA or or big name players. I definitely agree with what Darko had to say.
Gotta be honest, I did not expect to hear that from you. I know how big of a LeBron fan you are. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. But I'm 100% with you. I 100% agree with a lot of the things he said. I mean, 23-2 in one quarter, is absolutely crazy. Now, I could probably go check and how many of those free throws they made, but 23 free throws to 2. They lost that game by 1 point.
By 1 point.
1 point. Scotty Barnes gets 1 foul call, they win that game. He gets 1 foul call and goes to the line for 2 shots, they win that game.
Or even if LA gets 3 less foul calls, they lose the game.
And it's so crazy to think that they have to hold on, actually I'm looking up right now the free throw let me find this out really quickly. But it's so crazy to think that the head coach has to go on his presser and go off on a rant like that.
He had to make a point.
He has to make a point. I mean, now, did it cost him? It cost him $25,000. It did. But is it going to make a difference? That he doesn't care about the $25,000. Is it going to make a difference? Because Scotty Barnes is a very good basketball player, right? He may very well be an all-star. Not this year, maybe not this year, but he very well may be an all-star in his career. He's that good. But for him to not get calls, and then for RJ Barrett to get called for that illegal screen. It's small things like that it's like, okay, yes, it's LeBron James on the other side. Yes, it's Anthony Davis on the other side. And I'm not gonna lie, Devin Booker gets some BS calls sometimes. Kevin Durant gets some BS calls sometimes. And it shouldn't be that way. If you get fouled, you get fouled. Not if if you're this guy, you get a special treatment. It should never be that way. It should never be that way. That's not what basketball is. And then you have guys, going at the refs, yelling at the refs. So and just I don't know. It's really crazy to me. I hope something is changed about it.
You'll never guess what we're doing.
I hope something is changed about it. But oh man, it's rough.
It is really ridiculous about what happened that night. If you're not big name guys, I guess you don't get calls.
And that's the thing. Like a lot of the time, before Devin Booker really became Devin Booker, he was never getting those calls. He was never getting the years that the Suns were winning 18 games, 19 games, 20 games a year. He did not get those calls. He just didn't, for whatever reason. So it sucks because that's the way it is. Luka's gonna get his calls. Embiid is gonna get his calls. LeBron's gonna get his calls. It sucks. But for him to go off on a rant like that, I think it was very entertaining.
He was trying to prove a point, and I think the point was proven. Like they need to make a change.
Sorry, say that again. My bad.
No, I was just saying, like, he was trying to prove a point, and the point, he was trying to prove it. It got into everyone's, everyone took it what he said, and I think the point was proven. Like, I think he made a very strong argument, and it did cost him 25 grand, but it's something that needs to be said, and I think he said it very well. For him to hold back, not going off, because he did go off, but for him to not explode, it just shows like he was able to keep his composure, and I think he said it perfectly. Like, for them to not even show up to the game, they're gonna give the Lakers the free win.
Yeah, so that was tough to watch. That was really tough to watch. Jesse said Giannis gets fouled. He doesn't get special treatment. He absolutely gets special treatment. I witnessed it firsthand. I witnessed it firsthand in the finals. I'm not trying to hear none of that. He was getting some B. See, I'm gonna get riled up. You'll get me riled up. Let's see. He said the refs this year have been terrible. Yeah, they've been awful. The refs this year have been terrible.
And NFL too, NFL and NBA.
Oh yeah, and the sad part is at all levels, at college level, I mean, basketball refs in college are awful. Pac-12 refs in football are terrible.
High school refs too are also terrible.
High school refs are terrible. Like I don't know where these referees are getting their training. Apparently, just the same person is just training them because all of them are terrible.
Even whenever when you and Jesse were playing as well back in May.
Mm-hmm. Oh, in the league, yeah, like rec league refs are awful. I don't understand. Like it's always something with the refs. That's the disappointing part. It's always something with the refs. But I guess you live and you learn. I don't know. Oh man,
they have to have a parlay or something. These refs that
oh my, I'm sure some of them do. I mean, I'm sure some of them do. I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, I'm sure some of them be like, oh, like I got LeBron for over 25 tonight. And he's got 20 and he's got 24. Let me give him this foul. He can go over 25. I'm sure some of them do, which sucks because it taints the game. But and let's see. Oh, he also said the text they've been given. The text they've been giving in the NBA are crazy. You can't even. Yeah, the competitiveness that's been allowed in the NBA has been pathetic. I mean, if you dunk on somebody, you should be able to scream and get emotional, because that's what you work for. Those are the moments that you work hard for. That's what you're in the gym for, right? To go dunk on somebody and then stare at them. right? And I just, just talk trash to them. That's what the game is. That's what you work hard for. You understand what I'm saying? When you dunk on somebody, right? That just means, oh, I'm in the gym. I've been in the gym. What are you doing? Right? It's disappointing. It's really disappointing.
It's also not. This is also on the same line. Defense has not been the way it is the last couple of years,
No,
or even way before.
no, it's
It's
very
because foul calls. It's offensive oriented to the point where you can't play defense without getting foul calls on you.
and that's a huge point. That is a humongous point. And it's sad how much the game has changed for the worse. And funny enough, the only sport, at least of the three major sports, the only sport that has changed for the better is baseball. Now, I know you're not a baseball guy, but baseball this year was incredible. I enjoyed I watch every D-backs game, well, almost every D-backs game, which are the ones that I can watch. I watch every D-backs game. I watched every playoff game they played in this year. Obviously, they went to the World Series, lost to the Rangers, but I think that's really the only sport that has really changed for the better. I mean, hockey, same thing. Hockey's got soft. Hockey's not nearly as rough and physical as it was 10,
Do
20 years ago.
do they still allow do the rest still allow them to like throw punches until one
Yeah,
falls to the ground or
yeah, yeah. They
okay.
still do. Not as often as maybe they used to, but they still do. They still do it. It's entertaining. Which is probably why they still have it in. A lot of people go to hockey games to watch
See fights.
fights. Exactly. So, a lot of the games are really changed for the worse. And when I say the worst, I mean entertaining wise. Obviously, in football, you want to stop. You want to try and prevent those head injuries, those brain injuries. So the game is not as physical. But also it's like,
But I miss it. I miss it where you get to see guys like Cam Chancellor lay the boom, Ed Reed
yeah,
lay the boom. Like I miss Brian Dawkins, Sean Taylor. Like I miss those guys because we still have those guys. We still have
money
the
lot.
guys that we still have those guys in today's generation that still give big hits, but they still get. But after that, they get flagged or they get fined for it. It's not fun no more.
No, there's always penalties. There's not penalties on the field, but it's like obviously on the field as well, but off the field. If you go and
Yeah.
hit somebody, you're playing. You get fined for playing football. You get fined for playing football. Devin Witherspoon, the cornerback for the Seahawks, the rookie cornerback. Oh man, he laid some hits this year, bro. He laid some hits this year. I mean, he got Rondale Moore one time. He got him good. So he can definitely lay the boom.
I like that deal with him and Woolen.
Yeah, oh man. If like this, like Seattle. Okay, real quick. Now that you bring it up, real quick before we hop off. The best job opening right now in the league. There's 8 spots that are left. That are open. Best head coaching job in the league.
What do you mean?
Like, so if I'm a coordinator, right? And I want to go out and see who needs a coach, right?
Mm.
I want to what's the best situation to go into as a new head coach out of the 8 teams. So the 8 teams I believe are the Panthers, the Commanders, the Patriots, the Seahawks, the Falcons,
Raiders,
Chargers, and there's one more I believe.
I've been hearing talks about the Eagles firing Nick Sirianni if he doesn't perform or produce in playoffs.
That's kind of crazy to me. If they get rid of Nick Sirianni, I mean he's been good. I mean this is kind of his down year, but I mean he's been a good coach. So I mean if he were to go to another team, I think he'd do well.
I'm gonna say the teams that you named. I like Atlanta.
Atlanta, that's a good one.
The reason why I said Atlanta is because look at that division.
Yeah, it's not very competitive at all.
And the best team in that division is what, Tampa Bay?
Yeah, right now at least because they won the division, but
And
I
the
mean,
reason why I said Atlanta is because you got guys like Bijan and Kyle Pitts. Those are two guys that where you can have for 5+ years, and you can build an offense around those guys. Not to mention Drake London. He doesn't get enough respect or love, but Drake London's also another good receiver. But they don't. But I mean, I'm glad they fired Arthur Smith because he wasn't, developing them to their full potential. But whoever comes in and takes over that organization, they're gonna have offensive playmakers that they can use to their benefit. And I think Atlanta's a very good spot to go to if you're a head coach.
oh, absolutely, I agree. Franchise quarterback. I mean, there's a lot of these teams that have to go look for a franchise quarterback. Patriots have to go look for a franchise quarterback.
Even though I said Atlanta needs to look for their franchise quarterback.
Exactly. So, I mean, oof. So I'd probably say, and the reason why I say Washington is because it's a brand new group. I mean, they just got bought, right? The brand new ownership, brand new general manager. So it's gonna be like it's so Washington, you probably have the most freedom to really go out and hire your own staff, offensive, defensive coordinators, quarterback coaches, all that, all that stuff. So I maybe Washington, just because of the freedom that you would have as a head coach.
Yeah.
The Chargers, because of on paper how much talent there is over there. Seattle's another good one or okay one because you technically still have to go find out your franchise guy. Obviously, you have Geno for I think 1 or 2 more years.
I think Geno's like that bridge quarterback for them.
Exactly. He's he's not going to be the long-term solution. But until you can find that long-term solution, he can be that guy. He's like an Alex Smith.
I was gonna say like a Kirk Cousins.
Or even a Kirk Cousins, right? So there's a few good situations. I mean, the Panthers job is awful. The Panthers job is terrible. I mean, yeah, I guess you have your franchise quarterback,
but you have no draft capital at all.
No draft capital, no nothing, no trade assets. You have nothing.
You had DJ Moore and CMC. You gave them up the previous year
to trade for Bryce Young,
who's been outperformed by CJ Stroud.
Oh, by far. And
going to the season, everyone said the Texans have no playmakers around Stroud. Nico Collins, Tank Dell.
I was gonna say I don't know if CJ Stroud made them playmakers or they were playmakers themselves, but I even said before the draft even happened, CJ Stroud is gonna be the best quarterback coming out of the draft. And nobody but Ohio State quarterbacks never succeed. Now there's 2 of them that are playing well. Right, obviously there are Ohio State quarterbacks that never succeeded. Dwayne Haskins, obviously, rest in peace.
JT Barrett.
Like, yeah.
Braxton Miller.
I don't even think he played quarterback for that long. I mean, I think he came into the league, played quarterback. Like, yeah, I'll put you at running back.
Yeah, Terrell Pryor.
So there's been a lot of guys from Ohio State a lot of quarterbacks from Ohio State that haven't succeeded. But look at CJ Stroud. Look at Justin Fields. Right, these guys. Joe Burrow, he didn't come out of Ohio State, but he went to Ohio State and he played quarterback there. So, yeah. I mean, there's Ohio State quarterbacks. They're not obviously there's not really too many Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
They're not like Alabama quarterbacks where they produce a bunch of first-round talent and then go on to succeed. But
even Alabama quarterbacks never really are too successful. I mean, Mac Jones is Tua is I mean, there's not even Alabama quarterbacks. I mean, quarterback you. I mean, there's a few. I mean, LSU. Even then is not really too. I mean, it's really only Joe Burrow, and then Jaden Daniels this year. Clemson maybe with Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence. Guys who have been successful in the league. So, you really got your options. For
I mean, what about Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's a very good one. Oklahoma, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, both Heisman candidates. Both have been to the playoffs in the NFL.
I mean, if it went well, you could have said Spencer Rattler as well.
Yeah, but he was just dumb.
Yeah.
He's just dumb. He just didn't. He's almost like Johnny Manziel when he got to the league. I mean, Spencer Rattler went to college, was supposed to be this hyped up guy, right?
The best quarterback of his class.
Yeah. He was supposed to be, a Heisman candidate, Heisman possibly winner. And then he came out and pooped the bed. I mean, he was awful. He was not very, and that's when Caleb Williams.
Where's he at right now? Is he with the Gamecocks still? Okay.
Yep, South Carolina. So, and I believe he's supposed to be coming out this year in the draft. So I don't know. Maybe he gets drafted. Maybe he doesn't. But Jesse said I should join hockey. God, dude.
Because I mean, Spencer Rattler, they were comparing to Mahomes going into the
Yeah,
college.
yeah. I mean, I mean, Spencer Rattler just made his own decisions. He made his own mistakes, and which ended up biting him in the behind. So, I mean, it's tough to see what quarterbacks will be successful, but it's I don't
It's
know.
a very hard. It's probably the hardest position to play.
Oh, it's the hardest position to play in any sport, no doubt. I mean, with the pressure that's on you and the attention that you get, and literally in like, if you don't have that position, if you are not top tier at that position, you have no chance of winning a championship. Baseball, there's no position like that. Maybe pitcher.
Unless
When you have five pitchers and then other pitchers that come in to help them, it's not just one.
you said about football. I mean, unless you're a Brock Purdy in the Niners, it's very hard.
It's very hard. So, and that's a good point. That's a good point. And even Brock Purdy, like he's been good. Like he's been good. Like obviously, he's been better than Jimmy G because Jimmy G had that same team and didn't do what he's doing.
They did go to the Super Bowl though.
They did go to the Super Bowl, but if he makes that throw to Emmanuel Sanders, maybe they beat the Chiefs, but he overthrew him, and that's why you need a good quarterback to go win a Super Bowl. So it's tough, man. It's tough to really evaluate these college quarterbacks and see if they're going to be successful in the league, but
yeah,
you never know. But well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed, whether you're watching live or whether you're
watching it later.
Yeah, exactly, after the fact. I hope you enjoyed, Kevin. Man, hey, this is not gonna be the last time I have you on here. You know that, right?
My bad. I don't know if you noticed, but I was busy. I was doing my hair, and then I also you probably heard me drive. So
No, you
so
good.
so I was doing tons, and if anything, hopefully y'all tune in tonight as well because Jamal did say earlier we are gonna stream for the basketball game O'Connor versus Boulder Creek. So
Yes, tonight, 7 p.m. Not my bad, not to cut you off, Kev.
no,
But
you're good.
yes, tonight, 7 p.m. Epic Sports Network on YouTube. Tune in. Should be a fantastic game. Two high-level high school basketball teams here in the Valley are going at it. So it should be very, very highly contested. Kevin's going to be on the call with me.
D'Lo's gonna be with us.
No, D'Lo's he's off tonight. Just you and
He's
you
not-
and I.
Oh, okay. So just us two again.
Yeah, just us two. So should be a very highly contested game. So check that out. Epic Sports Network. Wow, Jesse is well, he's having fun in the chat.
What do you say?
He said message retracted. I think you can guess what he said. It's not allowing me to see the message, so I'm assuming you can guess what he said. I really hope you guys enjoy, man. I'm gonna have a bunch of people on here. This is not gonna be Kevin's final time on here. I got like he mentioned before, Kevin is one of my very close friends.
Hopefully, I can make it on every single episode. Shit, I mean, I'd be down for every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't got to tell me twice. You don't have to tell me twice. I'll have you on every episode, man.
As long as I got the time and day, I'm always gonna have time for talks and shows like this with you.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. So yeah, hey, listen, hey, if we get, but I gotta, Jesse had texted me that I'm probably gonna have Jesse on, so it'd probably be Wednesday or Thursday, maybe.
If we're gonna have a show where it's just strictly basketball, then Jesse would want to be on the show.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And even with Jesse, I want to and like I told you, not on the air or anything, but just when we were talking, because we talk all the time. I wanted it to be sports, but I also want it to be other things. Jesse's a new dad, right?
Outside of sports, yeah.
Yeah, I want it to be lifestyle. Jesse's a new dad, so I want I want him to how's that been? How's his experience going and things like that. So I want to hear his kind of his thought process on that. So Jesse, I'm definitely gonna have on. I guess Ricky. I got Ricky on here. No, Ricky's another one, man. Ricky knows so much basketball. I don't know if you saw, he just got engaged last night. I don't know if you saw that.
Really?
Yeah, Ricky just got engaged. So
Well,
super happy for him. Much love.
congrats to him.
Yeah, big time, big time. So much love, much love, much love to Ricky. But yeah, hopefully, oh man, it'd be cool. I mean, it'd be great if we can get everybody in person. But this is this is this is fine. Doing it over Zoom and stuff like that. So this is perfectly okay. So Jesse, I definitely want to have on. So maybe Wednesday or Thursday.
Probably Largo too, whenever Largo's free.
Oh, but yeah, Largo too, same thing. So, Kev, you're probably going to be on here with me the most. If not every episode, every other episode, whatever the case is. So you're probably going to be on here with me the most. But yeah, you and I are kind of going together, man. I mean, we're doing this. We're doing a high school basketball thing. Again, tune in 7 o'clock tonight, Epic Sports Network on YouTube.
Hopefully, we can get the whole game this time.
Yeah, oh man. See, I'm gonna get right. I'm gonna get right for sure. That can't happen no more, especially in the game. I mean, for that game though, it was kind of a blowout. So I mean, it was okay. We had Cole Pete, one of the top high school players in Arizona. We had Cole Pete.
That was my first time seeing ever play, and hands down, I was very impressed.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if you saw, he's down to 10 teams, committed to. So U of A, Ace, you're on that list. Michigan, UCLA, Kentucky. So there's a bunch of
D1 schools.
Oh yeah, a bunch of D1 schools interested in him. So we got to talk to him. That was really cool. He was really, really, really good guy. So and even this, like we'll bring like if we're doing a game, we'll bring him on, bring the star player on the podcast. Talk to him. Of course about his team and basketball, but like his life and kind of how he came to love basketball,
love the game of basketball.
Exactly. So maybe we'll do that next week. Next week I'm pretty sure we have Central and McClintock.
It's be a good one too.
Oh, that should be a great game. That's Central, I believe, is 7-0, and I think McClintock is like 7-1, 6-1, or something like that. So that should be a great game next week. Maybe I'll try and get one of those players to come on here with us. So, but
it might be jam packed in that arena. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that should be a fantastic game. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if that place is just rocking and filled to the T with people. So that should be exciting. So, but tonight, 7 p.m., Epic Sports Network. Me and Kev will be on the call. So I do want to say thank you to everybody who watched. I really, really do appreciate it. More than you know. Kevin, I appreciate you like crazy, man, for coming on here with me. But that's gonna wrap it up. Man, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. We should be back with another episode, maybe Wednesday, like I said, Wednesday or Thursday, because I really want to have Jesse on. And I know those days usually he's pretty available.
Shout out to Jesse. This has been on the chat with us since the start.
I love, like, obviously him and I joke around also. I love Jesse so much, dude. That's my brother. I don't care what nobody, like, I love Jesse so much, and he's been right there with me the whole, like, just like you have. He's been right there with me. So I appreciate Jesse so much.